Alright, Animal Watts, Algebra 1 class, welcome back. It's my pleasure to be able to teach you guys again today. Today we will be covering actually slope intercept form and standard form. And not only will we cover the two topics, but we're going to show you how to convert from one form to another. So today in slope intercept form, we're going to break it down. And this actually looks like y equals mx plus b. So this is slope form. And two key things about slope form. We actually have our m right here that comes into play and our b right here. So m is going to be our actual slope, and you guys might recognize that as slope being rise over run. So that's going to be important for you guys to remember. We do have our slope, and it is rise over run, and that's going to come a little bit more important a little bit later. And we also have our b right here, and b is actually going to be our y-intercept. So y-intercept. And what this means is that's the point on which, on the y-axis right here, the line will cross. So now I'm going to show you guys an example of what we can do with this kind of material. So in this equation, we're going to use y equals 2x plus 1. So as we covered, we have our slope, which is going to be 2, also known as 2 over 1. And we're going to have our y-intercept, so it's going to cross at positive 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually graph our point right here. This is our y-intercept, and we know this because this is positive 1, so I actually put it on positive 1 right here on the graph. And we're going to have a slope of 2, which is also known as 2 over 1. Whenever you have a whole number, you also have an invisible 1 that's right underneath it. It just means that there's two whole numbers right here. So what's that mean? We're going to have a rise of 2 and a run of 1. So I'll go ahead and plot one of these points. So you're going to rise 1, 2. We're going to go over 1 to the right. And one interesting thing about it is that you can also graph one more point. So these are two positive numbers. So if we were to turn them both negative, we know that two negatives in a fraction will make a positive. But we can actually use these two negatives to also graph another point on our graph. So we're going to go down 1, 2, and we're going to go 1 to the left. And of course, you can keep on graphing, and graphing. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to show you that we were able to make a linear function line based off just the formula given. Originally, it was y equals 2x plus 1. So now, I'm going to go ahead and go over what standard form looks like. And standard form, it actually looks a little bit different. So we do have a specific form. We have standard form. And that's going to look like so we have 8x plus by equals c. And the clear definition of it is this is the linear function of standard equations, and we're going to look at it as a, b, and c are all constants, but a and b can never be 0. And we're going to go ahead and look at now, so this is the standard form, and like I said, a and b can never be 0, but c can. However, we're going to look at changing from one form to another. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start off with an equation that is in standard form. And I'll go ahead and write that right now. 8x plus 4y equals 16. And we're going to try to get it into the original form, y equals mx plus b, which is what we want for slope intercept form. So we can get a lot more information usually from this form than we can by just looking at this one. So that's why this form, slope intercept, usually comes in more handy. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to get it like right here, y by itself on the left-hand side. So what we're going to do is first we're going to subtract 8x, and we're going to have 4y equals negative 8x plus 16. And now we still don't have our y by itself, so we're going to have to do one more step. We're actually going to have to divide by 4, because this 4 is multiplying with this y currently. So we're going to do the opposite operation, which is division. We're going to divide by 4, and when we do to one side, we of course have to do to the other. So now in total, we're going to get negative, and I'm just going to do a little bit of mental math in my head. So 8 over 4 is actually 2, negative 2. And then we're going to do 16 divided by 4 is positive 4. And now we have what we started off with, the standard form. We're going to have it in slope-intercept form. Let me go ahead and box my answer. So that is one way to convert it. I'm going to go over a few more examples. So we're going to have a brand new one. We're going to start off with 3x plus 7y is, let's make this a minus. So 3x minus 7y is equal to 21. So again, we're going to try to get y by itself on the left-hand side. So we're going to go ahead and subtract this 3x, and we're going to do it to this side. And you can think of it as an invisible wall. We can't pass this. And we're gonna be left with negative 7y is equal to negative 3x plus 21. And now we're gonna go ahead and get y by itself. We're gonna divide by negative 7. Divide this by negative 7. And we're gonna get y is equal to, and then this negative and this negative are gonna actually cancel out to make a positive. So we're going to have 3 over 7x minus division right here is going to be negative 3. Alright? So those are 2 examples of how to switch from standard form to slope-intercept form. Now sometimes, and this is more of a rare case, we might have to switch from slope-intercept form to standard form, so it's great to know how to do both. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example of switching a slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, into the standard form. So we're going to have y is equal to 5 over 4 x plus 5. Now you're thinking, how can we work with this fraction? We're actually going to have to multiply everything by the bottom or denominator of the fraction. So we're going to multiply this by 4. And this is going to actually cancel out this 4, but what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we're going to multiply this y by 4. And now we're going to do the math. So we now have, and I'll try to write a little bit neater, 4y is equal to 5x. And then all we did was cancel this out, so this is where we got the 5x. And we're going to multiply this 4 over here also. So we're going to have to do 4 times 5 is positive 20. And now one last step to get it into the standard form where we have y and x values both on one side. So we're just going to have to subtract this 5x. And so it came in handy to actually reduce the fraction originally so that when you get to this step, you don't have to mess around with extra numbers. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 5x, subtract 5x. And if you need that, you can always use it. So now we're going to have negative 5x plus 4y is equal to, and then we have this 20 all by itself. And now it looks, this is actually now in standard form. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this short video lesson of the differences between standard form and slope-intercept form and how to change one from or to the other. And I'll see you guys next week for another video lesson. Thank you.